Memorial Day weekend 2022. My wife and I took some time to go up to the Farming Life farm and enjoy time with the family. What did Memorial Day mean to you? It was a time for us to get together, to have picnics, to renew fellowship with our family, enjoy the beautiful weather, but also to commemorate all the sacrifices that veterans made in this country to give us the freedoms that we enjoy. So we spent the day eating food and celebrating with our families and relishing the fact that we live in a free country and that we're allowed to do these things unhindered. I know times are changing, but there's still many things that we can be thankful for. It also was a time to get the fields planted, and in this series right here you can see the farmer going around the circumference of a field that he is going to plant corn in, but it's organic corn, so everything has to be prepared and the field has to be readied for organic planting. Here he is bush hogging the perimeter of the field, and you can see that the field he's already worked the ground several times and gotten it ready for putting the seed in. It was just a gorgeous weekend. The weather was perfect, and I know for some the whole weekend would be a time to sit back and relax, but as far as the Farming Life farm is, there was work to be done. So I hope that you enjoy some of the aerial shots that I had. This is the first time that I blew the dust off the drone and got it up in the air and took some of these pictures. And there you can see, if you look closely, the farmer and his oldest son. They're almost inseparable. They work together quite well on the farm, doing all the different various tasks that have to get done. So there they are, bush hogging the perimeter of the field. An interesting side note to this is I had the drone up in the air and had it on tracking mode, which you have the opportunity to highlight a particular object that is mobile or moving, and the drone will fly over that object as long as it can see it. Of course, that worked fine until the tractor ducked behind some trees and we lost contact. Then it's on to another shot. Once the bush hogging was done, it was a quick jaunt down the road from the field that was being prepared back to the equipment shed, returning the bush hog and tractor to its place in the shed, and getting on another tractor that was set up to plant the corn. Before they could plant the corn, they had to prep the planter, and here are the next series of videos or pictures. There's Justin working on the planter and Eric loading up the organic seed that we're about to put into the ground. This has been an education for me. Again, I'm a novice at farming, so I don't know much about various aspects of it, but I do know that these planters are pretty remarkable pieces of equipment. You can set them up to not only put the seed in the field, but apply fertilizers and herbicides and so on and so forth, all at the same time. But with an organic field, you can't use fertilizers and herbicides, so you have to turn all of that off on the planter and just use it for putting the seed in the ground. Something that amazes me with the different shapes of the fields is trying to get them planted and making sure that you get full coverage on the field, that nothing goes to waste. You're putting these seeds in, uh, and you're putting them in a particular pattern that eventually you're going to have to go back over that field with a harvester and harvest that corn. And it just amazes me that this is something that they do. I don't know how much foreplanning that goes into laying that field out to put the corn in, but it is an interesting process to watch. Certainly enjoyable from the air. This footage was taken on Monday, Memorial Day, May 31st, which also brings to mind that this is almost 1 year that they moved up here on this farm. And seeing everything that they have accomplished in a year's time almost boggles my mind. There were tree lines to clear, stumps to pull, logs to be taken off of the field. There were barns that they had to tear down that were not usable, and they and they rebuilt an equipment shed during that time. Then tilling the fields and getting them prepared for planting corn, going out and buying the seed, and then putting the seed into the field. All of these things they have accomplished in just a little less than 1 year's time. Pretty amazing. After putting the video together, I noticed that some of the perspectives of some of the shots that I gave in this video are from the same altitude, and you try to spice things up each time you take it out, and I have to remember to give you different heights, different angles, and to keep it more interesting. So I apologize. It had been some time since I took the drone out, and you get a bit rusty when you're flying it. So, but I hope that you've enjoyed uh, the views of the farmer planting his organic corn in this field, and certainly appreciate any comments that you have, any suggestions that you have that would help make these videos more entertaining. Uh, I am always open to constructive criticism on what I'm doing. I'm certainly not a professional, and I openly admit that, but it is a lot of fun coming out here and doing this, and I do again appreciate the farmer letting me use some of his equipment to ride around and follow him through the fields and get these shots. I am hoping that throughout the growing season this summer that we can go up from time to time and show the progress that he's making in this field. I know with the acquisition of this farm, there was a lot of acreage that was left dormant for many years, and I want to talk to him. I think this might have been an area that had not been farmed for quite some time, so it really set it up uh, to enable him to transition from conventional growing to organic in this area. But I want to confirm that. I'm not absolutely positive, but I'm pretty sure he had done so much work on this farm, and there were a lot of places that were just in grass that had not been used for quite a long time. Well, that about wraps up this video. I hope, again, that you've enjoyed it. Farmer had to spray the dust off the equipment, keep it looking nice. We ended up with a campfire at the end of the weekend, and it was back to Lancaster County for my wife and I, and it was just a great time with the family.